Hi friends, we are learning about function in this lesson. Functions are smaller component of a larger program that make the code more efficient by performing a specific task of a larger program. For example, the code here is to print a menu for user input. So this is basically for a cafe in which users are supposed to choose 1 for starters, 2 for main course, 3 for desserts and 4 for drinks. So instead of printing these lines every time when the user need to select, I'm just going to define a function that does the printing job, and then I'm going to call the function whenever I need it, whenever I need these lines to be printed out. So to define a function, I need to start with def and a name for a function. There is no input for the function followed by a colon. When you put a colon, all the further lines are indented. So all these lines will run when I call this function here in line number 11. To call the function, I need to call the function name exactly with no errors. Let me run this, see what happened. Automatically these things are printed out. Run one more time, printed out. So line 3 is for defining a function. Line 4 to 9 are the body of the function. Line 11 is to call the function. When I call the function, line 4 to 9 will be executed. So I can call the function many times. So this is one example of a function that print a menu. Is it function only for printing a menu? No, it has got lot of other usage also. Let's take a look at them one by one. There is a second function here. Function name is even or odd. This function need an input number, meaning whenever I call this function, I need to supply a number. So what it will do, it will go and check whether the number is an even number. If it's an even number, dividing by 2 will give no remainder. Remainder would be 0. If that is the case, the number is an even number. If it is not even, else it's an odd number. So I'm asking for user input. User can type any number he want, and the function call will print out whether the number is even or number is odd. So in this example, the key in 301 is an odd number. Run it, maybe another number 3000 or 30,000 is even. So no matter what number you key in, then it will tell you even or odd automatically. This is by the function construction. So the function also works with if command. The last function just now, just the print command is not only printing, also with if else, some more including the printing. Just simply need to call the function correctly. This time when you call the function, you need to supply a number. You don't supply a number, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Correct? Because you need the number here. Okay. Fine. The next function is to check whether a number is prime or not. Prime number has got only two divisors, which are 1 and the number itself. 7 is a prime number because 7 you can divide only by 1 and the number which is 7. 8 is not a prime because 8 can be divided by 1, also by 2. The moment can divide by something other than 1 and the number is not a prime. As long as 2 can divide is not a prime. So we define a function here. Function name is prime. Need the number to work. Initially we assume prime to be true, meaning we just assume that this number is a prime number. Then we do a checking here. In this checking we need to check all the numbers in the range. Range of what? 2 until the number minus 1. 2 until the number minus 1. As long as any one number can divide, is not a prime anymore. Is not a prime anymore. So we are checking whether I can divide or not. I is a variable. If let's say the number is 15, it will check 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the number until 14. 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. If any one number can divide, then the prime will change automatically to false. And then it will break the for loop. Why break the for loop? As long as one number can divide, is not a prime anymore. You no need to check further. No need to check further. You will save time. You will save the computing time. Your computer will function, your program will function faster. So you have decided whether a number is a prime or not. It would have either true or false. And that answer you are returning. This function is returning whether it is a true or false. So the function input is a number, function output is true or false. That's all. The very first function do print out. The second function also do print out. This function no printing, but rather returning whether it is a prime number or not. So we ask for user input here and then call the function with the user input. When you call the function with the user input, it returns a result. The result would be either true or false. Either true or false. So we call here if result. If result means if result equal true. We don't want to type if result equal true. That's the whole model. The latest way of writing is if result. If result means if it is true is a prime number. If it is not true, is not a prime number. Is not a prime number. Let's run this. I key in a number 7. 7 is a prime number. I run it. I key in a number 8. 8 is not a prime number because we know it can be divided by 2. 15. 15 is not a prime number because it can be divided by 3 as well as 5. 17. 17 is a prime number. So even you can key in a very large number. I'm just pressing keyboard anyhow. Enter. So it's not a prime number. So there could be some number in the sequence that can divide. So a function take an input, give you an output. And then inside that it does its own job that you define. This is a job you define for this function. The earlier function all you define its own job. Every function got a job to be done. And then it always either print or return a value. Next one, packing candies. A person need to pack a given number of candies into small packets of 7. Write a function that takes in number of candies. He may have 1000 candies, let's say 1000 candies, and then he has to pack it in terms of 7. The function must return two things here: number of packets and number of candies left over. So you define a function here, do the calculation here. On the return, you try to return two items. A function can return two values. This function can return two values. Ask for an input from the user. Call the function with the user input inside the bracket. So remember, this function return two values. You store the two values here. One under number of packet, another under balance. One under number of packets, another under balance. And then you do the printout. Correct? Because this function return two values, you need to store it on two variables here. Let's run this. I am putting 7 candies. I have only 7. Naturally, I can make one pack and no candies left over. Let's check. One packet, no candies left over. I have 70 candies. So I can make 10 packs, no candies left over. 75 candies. Again 10 packs, 5 candies left over. Anyhow, I put a number, I don't care. Still works for me. How many packets I can pack, how many candies will be left over. So as long as you supply the input, it will give you the corresponding output. What you do with the output is you decide. So what we are doing with the output given by the function, we store it on two variables and then we print it out on two variables. So function helps a lot. It's something like a contractor for a company that does a particular job. So the company doesn't own the contractor. He calls the contractor whenever necessary. Like electrical fault. You call the contractor, tell him what is the fault. He will go and rectify, pay him the fee. That's all. After that, he goes back. So you don't have to employ an electrician in your company and incur a cost. Similarly, when you do coding, you don't have to write everything inside the main program. You write in terms of functions and then call those functions within the main program whenever and wherever you want to call. So we explained you with simple example. Later you will see a full-fledged example somewhere around lesson number 10 or lesson number 11. We'll be putting all these things together. At that time you will understand a full application of how to put all the things that we learn like if command, for loop, while loop, string, list, functions, everything together. How do you put it? I'll teach you. Okay, enjoy your lesson. Thank you.